In this video, I'm going to be explaining the simple steps to completely max out your lifting potential while bulking. But all my life, I've been the little kid, like the skinny kid, the short kid, and it kind of sucked, honestly. I think I went into sophomore year, maybe 5 foot and 90 pounds. It was honestly terrible. Like the way you get treated when you're skinny and short is just like insanely different compared to like now that I have a growth spurt and I've been lifting for a while. It's like night and day. You wouldn't even like imagine it. I couldn't even explain it to you if you haven't gone through it. Also just the insecurities, because you're so insecure about how you look and like your arms. I always wore like big like sweatshirts. I would never wear short sleeves. I would never ever wear a tank top or anything like that. Because I was just so insecure. But now we got a growth spurt and made some gains, so back in the game. I'm Etienne, and I want to help guys get out of dark times and reach their full potential. Not making progress in the gym is pretty excruciating. Knowing that you're just kind of pussying out deep down is not a great experience. You get less respect from people, less attraction from girls, and you just feel bad about yourself. It just sucks. And just to know that you're missing out on the type of person that you really want to become. Versus, on the other hand, if you consistently lift, you get way more respect, way more attraction from girls. It's just such a nice feeling. Like your confidence improves. It's great. Even just walking around the mall, like in a tank top or something that's tight fitting, it's kind of funny. Like you can just walk by, and before when you walk by a girl and she just like completely ignore you, now she's like staring at you, which is just kind of funny. It's just night and day also. It's also just the increased confidence that attracts people. Like I think every 10 pounds you increase, you get like an insane amount more respect. It's like those logarithmic scales like earthquakes. It's like that. Like every 10 pounds, you get like so much more respect. Another time I was just walking through the mall, I was just like talking to random people like I always do. And there was this dude standing there with like, 5 bags under his feet, and then like, 15 feet away from him, there were like some girls taking pictures or whatever. And I was just making like a joking comment of, oh, they like stuck you with all the bags or something like that. And he started like picking them up and like being awkward and like trying to move them off the floor because he thought I was like telling him to like pick it up. It's just like small things like that where people just act a little bit like weird around you, like kind of like chimps. Have you ever seen the like dominant gorilla or whatever, like the biggest gorilla, and he like walks through and all the chimps are like acting weird and they'll like pick off bugs from his back and stuff like that. Like it's kind of like that. It's just funny. And obviously I'm not exactly where I want to be with that, but it's just interesting to see every step you take in the right direction. It's a big difference. So the solution to stop going from someone who's just spinning their wheels in the gym and not really making any meaningful progress is 4 pretty simple steps. You just have to actually apply them and use them in your life. So the first one is very simple. It's a calorie surplus. You need to make sure that you're eating in a calorie surplus, because if you're not eating in a calorie surplus, you're not going to be gaining weight. It's as simple as that. There's no maintenance, or if you're trying to bulk, don't do any maintenance or main gaining or any of this bullshit, or like recomps. Just bulk and then you can cut afterwards. It's not going to work if you try to do everything at the same time. So eating in a calorie surplus, which is pretty simple, you take your maintenance calories, whatever you need to stay at the exact same weight, and then you add 10% of that. So for me, I think my maintenance is about 3,300. So to bulk, I need like 3,500, something like that. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. You could just add like 2 to 300 or whatever. And the second thing is liquid calories, which is super important because for a lot of people who start out skinny, usually your appetite is pretty bad, and that's kind of why you're skinny. So even the calorie surplus is pretty hard for you. And the easiest way to make up for that, aside from just eating more meals, is liquid calories. So if you can use, I'm not like one of these dumbass YouTubers who's gonna tell you to like blend up uranium and drink that shit or something, but it's like it's important to have these liquid calories so you can actually gain weight. So make smoothies, use olive oil, like melt butter in your food, things like that. So my smoothie, I'll just go through it. Yeah, it looks kind of funny, but it works, whatever. You gain weight. So you basically take your container, put almond milk, banana, frozen fruit, olive oil, 4 tablespoons of olive oil. That's like almost 600 calories, 700 calories. 112 grams of peanut butter. That's like, 500, 600, whatever. The whole thing's like at least 1,300 calories. And then like you're good. Because if you can't eat, 2,200 calories of solid food, like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, to be honest. So it's just easy. So the third thing is progressive overload, and specifically a personalized progressive overload using the exercises that you like doing, because, or the exercises that you can do also if you have an injury or whatever. A lot of the programs that I would go through would be like, do seated leg curls, for example. This was one for me. And I would do seated leg curls, and every single time I would get like hamstring pain, and twice I got like a long injury and couldn't lift for like months and months because of or couldn't do lower for months and months because of my hamstring. So just choose the exercise that you like, choose the exercises that you enjoy doing and will continue to do and be consistent on. Like if you're gonna skip calves or whatever, just choose a different exercise, as well as choosing exercise that doesn't injure you, because if you're injured, then you can't do any of this. So, and you have to make sure that you're increasing your weight, because if you're not increasing your weight, then you're not going to gain weight. If you if you lift, let's say 135 for 5 by 3, right? 1 year. And then a year later, you lift the exact same weight, then your chest is going to be the exact same size. And that's something that I struggled with a lot when I was lifting, is I wouldn't really progressively overload. I'd be going to the gym, I'd be going through the motions, but I wasn't really like pushing myself, or I didn't have the recovery necessary, or wasn't eating enough calories to actually gain weight and to actually progress. So I pretty much just stayed like the same weight for at least 6 months, I remember. The fourth thing, which is super important, and I've kind of been touching on it in the last few steps, is to track your calories, track your weight, and then track your lifts. If you're not tracking what you're doing, it's very, very hard to stay consistent, because you'll be like, okay, I'm eating, I'm bulking, so why am I not gaining weight? But if you're not tracking calories, you might be eating like 1,700 calories. That's what a lot of people do. And I did that in the past too. It's a lot easier to just track it. You have no stress. You don't have to worry about it. And you have data too. So if you realize like, okay, I'm not doing this right, or this thing isn't happening for me, then you can fix it because you have the data. You can see, okay, I'm not eating enough, or I'm not progressing in this lift, and that's why my forearms aren't growing, whatever, right? And then tracking your weight too, because you can see yourself in the mirror. You can kind of see like, you can gauge that a bit. And your lifts help you, because if you're gaining strength, then that means you're probably gaining muscle. But tracking your weight is also super important, at least week to week, because you can see the trends. I like on MyFitnessPal, you can like enter your data and it'll give you like a little plot like this that'll show you like your trend. As long as it's like this, obviously there's days that go down, days go up, whatever. As long as it's like this, then you're fine. And ideally gain like 1 to half a pound of like lean body weight per month. So yeah, it could be a bit more if you're really into lifting. But yeah, hope that was helpful, and have a good one. Peace.